I know you've heard it before. Every older generation says children today are soft. They say people can't handle criticism anymore, that we cry too easily, that we're too sensitive, too politically correct, too aware. But here's the thing, maybe we're not softer. Maybe we're just more conscious and more exhausted. We live in a world where every opinion gets dissected, where one wrong word can ruin your life, where you're expected to be hyper aware of everyone's triggers and forget about your own. So, yeah, maybe we're not softer. Maybe we're just trying to be numb. There's a rise of social awareness fatigue. Social awareness used to mean compassion, understanding other people's struggles. Now it's a full time job. We've gone from be kind to you better say everything the right way at all times or we'll cancel you. Everyone is scared of offending. Everyone's watching their words, watching reactions, checking comments to see what is acceptable. It's not empathy anymore, it's performance. And when you live like that, you start losing yourself. You stop speaking truth. You stop thinking freely. And you start asking, what will they think? Instead of, what do I believe? Social media made us hypersensitive. We don't just live our lives, we watch ourselves live. Every post, every thought, every emotion is like public property. We measure how we feel based on likes and comments. And if people disagree, we delete, apologize, overthink, and repeat. We've created generations who are scared to be wrong. But growth comes from being wrong, from failing, from getting up, not from walking on eggshells. Extreme social awareness sounds good, but too much of it kills individuality. It replaces confidence with compliance and a twisted sense of belonging. We've built a culture where everyone's afraid to offend, but no one's afraid to pretend. And that only further worsens the problem. When every opinion you have can be labeled as problematic, you start to doubt yourself. That is why so many people feel lost, why everyone's anxious, indecisive, or constantly second guessing themselves. They've confused kindness with submission. You can care about people and still have a backbone. It seems like no one can agree to disagree anymore. And it's affecting their self esteem as well. Self esteem doesn't come from pleasing everyone, it comes from knowing who you are, even when others don't agree. And if we keep raising generations who equate confidence with cruelty, we'll end up with adults who know how to please and only know how to please, but not how to lead. not how to make tough decisions. John chapter 15, verse 19 says, "If ye were of the world would love his own. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you." That is powerful because it's saying that conforming to this collective accepted consciousness, instead of thinking with the mind that we have been blessed with, will only work against us. Conforming to the world doesn't change the fact that nonconformity is despised, it's looked down upon. Be aware, don't be consumed. Be compassionate, but don't lose conviction. There is a balance between awareness and authenticity, between caring for others and still being true to your own voice. And sometimes the truth hurts, it's uncomfortable, but it's freedom. So, are generations becoming softer? I know I took us on a wild trip there, but I'd like to think about that question again. Maybe not softer, but more afraid, afraid of backlash, afraid of rejection, afraid of standing alone in a loud room, afraid of being different. But strength isn't about shouting louder, it's about standing firm when it's unpopular. See, over time, as we've become closer due to the rise of connectivity and technology, it's become a lot more difficult to be different or stand out without attracting some kind of negative opinion. And usually the negative opinions come in groups. It's not just one or two people anymore. So we don't necessarily need harsher generations. We need braver ones. And I'd go as far as to say that those who can stand up in this generation have to be a lot braver than the previous generations. They have to stand up and publicly and sometimes internationally declare that they are not going to comply. And that can be scary, but it creates change. We're not all meant to be the same. We're meant to be diverse. That's how we are created to be. I'm Oso, and these are opinions of a social outcast. And if speaking your mind makes you an outcast, maybe the world needs more outcasts. Until next time.